Hi, it's the 18th of September, loads of news. There's plenty about banking, finance, etc. So you really need to pay attention to what's going on at the moment. A fair bit about food and shortages, and a fair bit about the biometrics. So let's get right into it. The change in the climate and the denial of it is apparently a mental condition. Lebanon is to shut banks after a string of raids by people taking out their life savings. US banks are suffering record deposit outflows. Methinks it's going into gold and silver. Again, do your own research. That's not financial advice. US targets banks that are using the Ruski MIR, M-I-R, payment system. The testing of the digital ruble has been announced and apparently is at some time next year. There's an ATM skimmer that is super thin that is being used to steal people's money in New York. Hungary is extending its energy and food price caps due to soaring inflation. Argentina is raising its interest rates to 75% as inflation nears 100%. That's just madness. That country's out of control, just like Venezuela. Canadians' wealth has suffered the biggest drop on record, and it's down by 6.1%. UK retail sales have slumped as inflation and energy bills are taking their toll. Public confidence in the Bank of England has hit an all-time low. I wonder why. 9/10 of Italians are planning to cut their spending to pay for their energy. Apparently it's a bad year to retire, very risky due to the rapidly changing economy. And Americans are continuing to pile on more and more debt, usually on their credit cards. So now to the food side of things. France is to reap its worst corn harvest in decades. Be prepared for a massive global rice shortage, which is edging closer. There's a Zero Hedge article, which I'd recommend you read, that talks about the end of cheap food, which is looking that way. Berry growers in the UK have had a challenging grow season. And the last one for the food, Europe's biggest pork producer has cut jobs as supplies decline. So as I've said before, anything animal derived food, milk, stuff like that, is being smashed. Right, the dystopian future will follow this one. Net and the word zero policies that should be torn up to save our wealth, says the Telegraph. That's worth having a look at. US military holds a drone swarm drill. 40 quadcopter drones with cameras, lasers and lethal munitions. And in this dystopian future, I would anticipate those in all cities and big towns. If you do something wrong, they'll be following you. Pakistan has apparently given $100 million worth of flood relief payments through their biometric digital ID system. India claims that nearly 100% of all its citizens are now on the Aadhaar AAD, so that's AADHAAR ID system. They were the pioneers of this digital ID system, along with China, and apparently it's like 99.9% of people are on it, but that 0.1% is still 15 million that haven't got it. So yeah, there's some bad stuff in there. So yeah, please pass on to as many as you can, and I'll see you on the next one.